version of the NFLPA Report Card got released today. And for those of you unfamiliar with the NFLPA and their report cards, this is something that they instituted 3 years ago. And the purpose of this report card is to basically, listen, I can tell you what the union spin on this is, what the NFLPA says right here on their website. One of our core jobs as a union is to improve the overall working conditions for our players, which includes the daily experience of players at the team facilities away from the lights and cameras. That's the nice union speak for what they're doing, and I appreciate what they're doing. Let me tell you what they're really doing. They want to embarrass the teams that are doing poorly here. They want to embarrass the teams that are not having the best facilities, the best coaches, the best training, the best nutrition. They are trying to embarrass teams. That's what the intent of this is. And they've been doing this for 3 years. Now, mind you, when I say that they're doing this to embarrass teams, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I like that they're doing this. This is holding power accountable. It is holding wealthy team owners who have the means to have the best facilities in the world, to have the best nutritionists in the world, to have the best coaches in the world, that can invest those resources into their people, holds them accountable for doing so. So for the third year, they release this report, these report cards. And they work like any report card you've seen before. You want A's, you don't want D's and F's, okay? Now, unfortunately, for the Arizona Cardinals, it's a lot of D's and a lot of F's. When this first started in let me do some math here, the third one, 2023, I believe they ranked 31st in the original version of this. Then last year, they improved. It was a big improvement. They were only 27th worst in the league. They ranked 27th in last year's version. This year, the worst team in the NFL. 32 out of 32 for the Cardinals. How does this report card work? They ask the players. 1,700 players provided information on the facilities, on the coaches, on the food and dining area, on the treatment of family, on the locker room, the training staff, the weight room, the strength coaches, team travel, head coach, ownership, all of it under a microscope. This is the roadmap for players when they hit free agency. Do I want to go there? Do I want to go to that place? They don't treat families very well, or I don't have a great weight room. They don't have a great training staff. Maybe I don't want to go there. The money's equal. I'm going to pick the place that's better for my family. Arizona Cardinals ranked last, 32 out of 32 teams. I'm looking at the Cardinals page on the NFLPA's website. I'm just going to read from it. You can look at the report card yourself, and we're going to go through each of these things here individually in just a second. The Arizona Cardinals finish at the bottom of this year's report card rankings. The top concern for many players is the need for an updated, modernized, and expanded team facility. Nearly every space within the facility is described as too small, especially the team's locker room. Many players highlighted improvements like an upgraded food program, pregame sideline passes for their facilities. This is the important thing. When asked what the team is doing best, many players praise head coach Jonathan Gannon for fostering a strong team culture. They got an A grade for their head coach, 8th out of 32 teams. 92% of Cardinals players felt that head coach Jonathan Gannon uses their time efficiently. The players felt that Gannon is receptive, highly receptive to locker room feedback on the team needs. That ranked him 7th out of 32 head coaches. The only thing that the Cardinals do well. And to me, you want to talk about the thing that would scare me with how big of an offseason this is for the Cardinals? Their ownership, D- grade. 30 out of 32 teams, D-. The average rating that Michael Bidwill got for perceived willingness to invest in the facilities, 5.9 out of 10. That made him 31st out of 32 owners. They ranked 28 out of 32, Bidwill did, in him contributing to a positive team culture. Bidwill ranked 27 out of the 32 NFL owners in regards to commitment to building a competitive team. You want all the grades? Treatment of families, D+, 29th. Food and dining area, D-, 30th. Nutritionist, dietitian, B, 22nd. Locker room, F-, 32nd. Training room, D-, 32nd. Training staff, C, 31st. Weight room, F, 31st. Strength coach, C+, 31st. Team travel, B, 20th. Head coach, A, 8th. Ownership, D-, 30th. That is the state of the Arizona Cardinals from an infrastructure and organizational perspective. They're bad, awful, horrendous across the board. The way they treat families, D+. Food, D-. Training room, D-. Locker room, F-. The worst locker room, the worst training room in the league. The worst training staff, the second worst weight room, the second worst training staff, the second worst strength coach, according to this list. The third worst owner, 30th out of 32 owners across the board. This is the big red siren sounding. That this team needs to make major changes, and it starts at the top. Now, the Cardinals put out a statement in response to this. How hard is it, by the way, to just be middle of the road in this regard? How hard is it to have above average food in your facility? How hard is it to treat players and their families with some respect, some pre-game field passes? Is it really that hard? Is that dipping into your pocketbooks too much there, Mr. Bidwill? These are easily correctable things. As an owner, maybe you have a tough time hiring the right coach, although according to this, you've done a great job in that regard. Maybe you have a tough time hiring the right GM. So that means you're not getting the best players, and you struggle. And at the end of the day, you got to have the best players. You got to have the best coaches. You got to have the best general manager, the best front office if you want to win. You have to be good in those areas. The easy things, the things that are supposed to be, you just throw money at problems. I don't have to hire people for this. I don't have to hire the best coach. You're telling me I can't invest tens of millions of dollars and build a high-class, state-of-the-art facility? I can't invest a little bit in my people and treat families better? You're telling me I can't have the best food, the best nutritionist? I can't hire the best of the best? There's no cap on those things. You can spend as much money as you want. There is zero excuse for them to be at the bottom of all of this. There's zero excuse for players rating the post-game family area 29 out of 32. They were ranked 29 out of 32 in the team organizing family events only a couple times a year. Players from the Cardinals identified ways that the team could improve the treatment of families. Here are the two things the players mentioned. Players want access to pregame sideline passes so they can see their family before the game. Is that difficult? Is that hard? They're players for you on your team. You can't get their family some passes? They also suggest improvements to the in-game family room and the post-game family area. These are easy things for this team to do. These are easy things for this team to fix. And this is the Cardinal statement in response to all this. Quote, "Our goal is to provide the best possible environment, facilities, and resources, and to give our team the greatest opportunity to succeed. We are working hard to achieve that. Last season, we shared with our players the plans for a new training facility at the existing Tempe location with a targeted completion date of 2027. We have hired Rossetti, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I apologize, a leading architecture firm that has worked with a number of NFL teams on their new facilities. And the design process is underway. We will continue to explore all the other ways, large and small, that we can get better in every single area of our operation." End quote. Not good enough. Not good enough. That is not a good enough answer. You were ranked last in a lot of stuff. You were ranked bottom of the league in stuff that's easily fixable. You're going to get embarrassed into fixing it? And oh, by the way, you were 27th last year. You were 31st the year before that. And clearly, that wasn't enough to embarrass you because now you're 32nd in all of these things. Where's the accountability? Where's the standard? Where's the culture? That starts at the tippy top. And this report tells us that culture stinks. And the only redeeming thing that this team has right now, according to this report, is they have a coach that's basically holding it all together. Now, real quick, the teams that rank the best in this stuff, the Miami Dolphins were the best team across the board. A in family treatment, A+ in food and dining, A+ in nutrition, A+ in locker room, A in training room, A in training staff, A+ in weight room, A+ in strength coaches, A+ in team travel, A+ in head coach, A+ in ownership. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm not watching the Miami Dolphins go to AFC championship after AFC championship. I'm not watching the Miami Dolphins win the AFC East year in and year out. I'm not watching them dominate the competition. I'm not watching them be a juggernaut. They're the first-ranked team. They're not the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not the Buffalo Bills. What's the point I'm making here? You don't have to just win in order to fix these things. You can just do these things. These are just things that you can do. And I'm sorry, this is going to stop free agents from coming here. And you don't need me to remind you how important of an offseason this is for the Arizona Cardinals. How they have to sell Josh Sweat. They have to sell Milton Williams. They might have to sell a wide receiver on coming here and being a part. You think this helps? Do you think this report card is going to help them? You think this is going to be an advantage for them in free agency? And the worst part is these are all easily correctable things. All you have to do is invest in your team, invest in your facility. And this is further proof that Michael Bidwill maybe doesn't want to invest what it takes in order to win here in this city. A lot more on this over the coming days. This just dropped about an hour before we went on the air, and I saw where they finished, and I was red hot. Because these are easy things. Treating family well, non-negotiable, should be easy. Set up a good family area. Give them the pregame passes to be on the field. Simple stuff. This is not costing you hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't have to build a brand new arena. You're going to build a brand new facility by 2027? Good luck. You're going to be 32nd in these report cards up until then.